Beck also took interest in the K2 rifle that was in the armory and asked for the rifle in live rounds for his patrol of the base. History that there could be an officer that is this naive. Pilsung. Hello, my name is Brennan. I'm from the United States. I am a Marine combat veteran who has fought twice in Afghanistan. Now I live in South Korea, where I am a professional MMA fighter. Today we're going to talk about a mystery case in the Korean Army. It is a true story that happened in the 51st Division, and the culprit is still at large. On January 3rd, 1997, at around 10:50 p.m., a never-before-seen man in a uniform with the rank of Lieutenant Commander walked to the back gate of the 51st Infantry Division. He walked up to the back gate. They didn't have him to identify himself. He just walked right in or something. Like, okay, so he walked up. Okay, that's normal day. That's pretty normal for a lieutenant to walk up, you know. But why the back gate? So he identified himself as Lieutenant Commander Beck and said he had recently been transferred over to the Capital Corps and said he was patrolling to learn the terrain. Okay, there's nothing wrong about that. I mean, you know, because a lot of the lieutenants and officers, you know, have to learn the terrain anyway so they can do exercises. So, I mean, that's pretty believable. Get that. He told the guards that he had forgotten the password, got it from them, and continued into the base. Now, for that part, that is a red flag. However, he's an officer, so I can understand why the guards didn't question him, because if it was he forgot and he really belonged there, they would have all ate a shit sandwich. It would have been horrible. So I can understand why they gave it to him as a courtesy. He's an officer, whatever. So continue on to the base. He told the same story to Ensign Jung Hoon Nam, who was on duty at the time, and also added that he'd come to survey the base because the location was suspect to be frequent by North Korean spies. Wait a minute, wait, what? Sidebar, they didn't bother to double check that. The first one was survey the area because he's new. Second one was because it was occupied by North Korean spies. If it was occupied by North Korean spies, why didn't the ensign say, hey sir, we understand, but we need confirmation from your command to make sure that this is good to go. The lower ranks, I understand, because I mean, if I'm a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps and a captain comes up to me and say, hey, we need to do this. If I don't know any better, I'll say, hey, he's an officer. I'll let it go because I'm enlisted. But if it's an officer and another officer, officers are supposed to be the intelligence of the military. So the moment he said there's North Korean spies, he should immediately say, okay, sir, I understand, but this is my post. I need to confirm. I would definitely would have confirmed with his his corps, because Capital Corps, I don't know if that is intelligence or whatever, but if it was intelligence, the first thing he shouldn't have never done was inform them that he was surveying for North Korean spies, because if there was some that was infiltrated into there, he could have been a North Korean spy and he would have been assassinated. He just gave away intel that possibly threatened national security if this was true. For the next 20 minutes, Ensign Nam offered hospitality to Beck and gave a briefing about the base and its area of surveillance. He apparently also asked nonchalantly about the locations of outposts and mortar replacements. Okay, that's fair, because he was surveying around the base. So, I mean, that is fair to ask about other places. Beck also took interest in the K2 rifle that was in the armory and asked for the rifle in live rounds for his patrol of the base. Okay, right there, that is a no-no. No. If you have live rounds ammunition without authorization to be able to issue that round out at all, issue it or whatever, he's not supposed to have that. You know, walking around with live ammunition on the base, unless it's a training exercise in a designated area, is a huge no-no, because there's so many cases where the person, you don't know if he's mentally stable, you don't know what his intentions are. So walking around with live rounds, someone can either confiscate his weapon or he can use it for malicious intent. You don't know this guy, you just met him, and you have to survey the area, but without a authorization or any type of orders, I cannot hand you this live round weapon. You know, that's the only time you can decline an order, is when there's no confirmation, especially involving live rounds. Ensign Nam proceeded to hand over Sergeant Young Moo Lee's K2 rifle, along with 2 magazines containing 15 live rounds each, and offered to go on patrol with Beck. Ensign Nam, I'll come back to you later. He offered to come on patrol with Beck. I'll come back to you later, Ensign Nam. However, Lieutenant Commander Beck declined, saying that the terrain wasn't fit for two, and at 11:50 p.m. began his patrol in a Gray Pride Beta under no suspicion. Are you fucking kidding me? Did this really happen? What the fuck? Seriously? Okay, let me get this straight. This guy walks into a base, asks for information of locations of the area, as nonchalantly asks for another soldier's weapon to survey the area. He had a chance to get backup. He declined, saying that the terrain was not fit for two. That right there should have been a red flag. Because why, if you're surveying the area and you have backup, that will confirm that your story is true. The moment he declined, that should have set off red flags like, oh, sir, why would you not want backup? As a matter of fact, you would ask, then once he declined assistance, you can then say, hey, wait, sir, if you're surveying the area, where's your backup? What if you get captured by North Korean spies? Who are you gonna report to? You know what I mean? So like, that right there should raise red flags, but they let him go anyway. Are you kidding me? This can't be real. I think you guys are fucking trolling me. 2 hours later, at 1:30 a.m. on January 4th, the company leader came around and went on patrol with live rounds, but hasn't returned yet. The company leader suspected something was amiss and immediately called the nearest outpost asking if they had seen Lieutenant Commander Beck, but nobody had seen him. No fucking shit. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the company leader contacted the Capitol Corps. To his dismay, he found out that the Corps had never seen such an individual and that Lieutenant Commander Beck was not affiliated with the Capitol Corps, but with the Special Forces Command. Furthermore, at the time of the incident, the real... There's no way an officer could be this retarded. Like, in the Marine Corps, as enlisted, we talk trash about officers being retarded. Some officers being really retarded. But there's no way in history that there could be an officer that is this naive. Like, oh my gosh. Furthermore, at the time of the incident, the real Lieutenant Commander Beck was in his sleeping quarters and had never gone to the coastal outpost. This was an emergency. An emergency? No, there's no way it's an emergency. No. This can't be real. This can't be real. Oh God. The identity of this so-called Lieutenant Commander Beck, the purpose of stealing a K2 rifle, how an outsider has such detailed information about the base, all still remains a mystery in 2020. There have been speculation that it was a North Korean spy or even someone who had previously been stationed at said base. So, I'm gonna give you guys my theory on this whole thing after reading everything. I'm gonna give you guys 3 theories I have. Question number 1, the location of the firearm. The rifle that Ensign Nam handed over to the fake Lieutenant Commander Beck belonged to the deputy platoon leader. Every firearm in the military has a unique serial number, true, that all soldiers must memorize until the day they return it, also true. The deputy platoon leader most definitely knows his. If ever an unidentified rifle came up, the complete history of that rifle's whereabouts would correspond to the serial number. True, freaking true. However, the rifle was never found. Therefore, it can be said that both the whereabouts of the fake Lieutenant Commander Beck along with the rifle he stole are completely unknown. No one can say the rifle is now overseas or in someone's closet or maybe even disassembled and analyzed in some North Korean or Chinese factory. This is true. When I was in the Marine Corps, I had my weapon. I had to remember the serial code number. We had weapons cards. We get weapons cards. Like we have our M16, our PEC 16, 31 Bravos, 31 Alphas, and things like that. We'll have serial cards, like serial numbers for each one. But you're supposed to remember the number. If you don't remember the serial number to anything else, you're supposed to remember for your rifle. So it's like, oh, what is your rifle serial number? Oh, sir, serial number is 108012312. Affirmative, this is yours. Go from there. That lets everyone know like this is your rifle, because not only you have to remember the serial number for your rifle, but your rifle is sighted to your eyesight. So that's your personal rifle. So it's not just a rifle you have to hold on to for your service. This weapon is customized to your body, customized to your eyesight, etc. so forth. So this rifle is very important. So this is not just any rifle you can pick up. This rifle is customized to you. Question number 2, how could he know whose identity to steal? The fake Lieutenant Commander Beck did not disguise himself as someone non-existent. Lieutenant Commander Beck was in fact a very real person who was also serving in the Capitol Corps. How could the fake even find out about the real Lieutenant Commander Beck in the first place? He even knew the name and rank of a specific person on base. It was because of such specific knowledge that the Ensign Nam had no suspicion, but it is still a mystery how he found the identities and details of 2 different soldiers stationed in 2 different bases. It is possible that a spy could have provided this information, but there's still no evidence of such a possibility. It is even possible that this could have been a large-scale inside job. I'll explain my theory afterwards. Question number 3, the firearms whereabouts. The fake Lieutenant Commander Beck had the correct rank and insignia down to the colors, which I can get is deceiving. It has only been 2 months since his insignia colors had changed, meaning this was a very carefully planned operation, as it is not easy feat to acquire such a uniform with the correct rank. That is also true. Of course, he could have just bought it in some military shop, true, but officer insignias are much more scarce and hard to come by, and usually only given after being properly ID'd. With this information in mind, the Department of Defense concentrated their investigation on military shops, but still no dice. Does this mean that the fake Lieutenant Commander Beck has somehow created such a disguise all by himself? The uniform in question has also yet to be found, so it is wholly possible that a spy or informant inside the military provided the info in disguise to North Korea so they could follow through with this operation. Okay, first thought, Ensign Nam is a fucking idiot. I want to make that known. That's number 1. Number 2, with it being so close to the base, it is possible to say that this is a North Korean operation. It is very, very possible. If there was someone from North Korea who was placed in here as a spy, it is possible. However, everyone born in South Korea has a birth certificate, correct? So, or some sort of documentation saying that they were born in South Korea. So, unless they were good enough to get someone to fake documents, there's no way that this could be a North Korean spy to infiltrate. Because in order to get access to the base and get uniforms and whatever like that, know that information, you have to have someone who was a South Korean officer or military affiliate, or have served on a base and prepared this in advance. Because North Koreans come in, there's information that they can't grasp unless they have someone who's affiliated with the actual South Korean army base or something of the sort. So for them to know names and all this would have to be an inside job off top. And the fact that they use real person is messed up, but it's brilliant because they could have made up someone. But the higher chance of that becoming flagged would have been a great 80% versus using someone that was actually real. So they had to use an officer that was actually real from the Capitol Corps. So if they research Lieutenant Commander Beck, they say, oh, he does exist. Okay, let's push him forward. So they use the actual identity, which is, this was well thought through, but this was an inside job. Also thinking with the weapon never being seen again, this is definitely an inside job. So my theory is either Ensign Nam and then was in on it and they didn't expect to get caught. Or theory 2, Lieutenant Commander Beck was the actual culprit behind it and he used him sleeping in the corners as an alibi to excuse him from being #1 suspect on the list, which in turn had him to have the weapon, the guy disappear, everyone else that allowed it to happen get taken down. Those are my 2 theories. So today we talked about the K2 burglary on the army base that happened in 1997. So if you like this video, be sure to comment below. Also be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the near future. Challenge all persons on or near your post and to allow no one to pass without proper authority. That is one of the orders of the century. So